In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the valve cover on your Kia Optima. Located under the hood in front of the vehicle, let's get started. Before we go ahead and do this job, we had to remove the high pressure pump. So what we need to do, we had to make sure that the vehicle is not going to have any fuel pressure. So we're going to come over to the fuse box. You're going to pop the cover. It's going to have 2 tabs, one on each side. Go ahead and press those in and then slide the cover up. When you open the cover, you're going to see the fuel pump fuse. It's located right over here, and it is going to be at 20 amp. So what we're going to do, we're going to be just removing that fuse using this little clip right here. Take that out. Grab onto the 20 amp fuse that is located right over here and pull it out. Go ahead and put that to the side. Do not lose it. We're going to be installing it later on. Now go ahead and get in the vehicle, turn it on, and you're basically just going to let it die on its own. It will shut off, and that's what we were looking for. After it does that, we can go ahead and keep going on this job. Next up, we're going to remove the engine cover. You're going to grab onto the front on each side of the cover, and you're going to pull up. You're going to be doing the same exact thing in the back. Remove the cover and get it out of the way. Next up, we're going to go ahead and unplug this solenoid. Go ahead and put some pressure on the connector and pull it out. It's going to have a tab. Go ahead and slide it out. Now we're going to take these things off. Using a small pry tool, go ahead and take both of these clips off. And move the cable out of the way. Next up, we're going to use a set of needle nose pliers, and we're going to take this clamp off. We're going to simply squeeze it, slide it in towards the inside of the hose, and I'll just pull the hose out. Move that hose out of the way. Next up, we're going to be disconnecting all of the coils and the high pressure fuel pump. Let's start by taking this out. It's going to have a tab. Go ahead and squeeze that and pull it out. For the coils, each connector is going to have a little lock-in tab. This little gray clip, you have to slide up first, just like that. And then you can squeeze on the black tab to pull the connector out. You're going to be doing the same on all 4 of them. If you have any issues popping off the little lock-in tab, you can go ahead and use a small flathead screwdriver. You can wedge it in between the plastic clip on both sides, and you're able to pull it out. Next up, we're going to be removing the bolts that holds the harness onto the valve cover. So using a 10mm socket, go ahead and take this bolt and this one right here. Go ahead and take those out. Now that we have this loose, we can go ahead and take this pressure line out. To remove this line, we're going to be lifting on this black little cover. You're going to simply grab it on the top and lift it up. To remove the line, you're going to go ahead and use a pry bar or a little plastic trim tool. Being very careful not to damage the line, you want to go ahead and wedge it in between the plastic locking tab. You're going to push in and then slide the hose out. There shouldn't be any pressure on the line, but just to be safe, go ahead and put a rag underneath the line before you poop it completely out, and I'll take it out, just in case it leaks anything. Now that we know there's no fuel in the system, go ahead and remove your rag. We can grab this line and just move it out of the way. Do not bend it too much, because it could cause some damage. Just move it out so we can get to the valve cover. Now we can grab this harness and simply grab it up and move it out of the way. Next up, we're going to be removing all of the coils, and for that we're going to have 4 10mm bolts. Go ahead and remove those. Grab the coils and slide them up. Next up, we're going to disconnect this line. There shouldn't be any fuel pressure in the system. But just to be safe, go ahead and put a rag underneath before you crack it loose. Using a 19mm wrench, go ahead and loosen this knot. Unscrew the whole thing and move the knot out of the way. Since no fuel came out, go ahead and remove your rag. Using a 10mm socket, we're gonna go ahead and remove these two 10mm bolts that holds the high pressure fuel pump. When you do remove this, you have to make sure that you go evenly so it doesn't cause any issues. So we're gonna go ahead and crack them loose first. And now I'm gonna go ahead and remove each bolt evenly. So go ahead and do a couple turns and do the same on the other side. The reason we're doing this way is because there is a spring that's putting pressure onto the pump. If you remove one side completely, it will come out crooked and it will damage it. So just keep that in mind. Now that we have it completely loose, remove the bolts. We're gonna go ahead and remove this sub harness. Simply unplug it from here and slide it out. Next up, grab onto the high pressure pump and just pull up. Sometimes you might have to just move this line a little bit to give you enough room. Go ahead and slide it out. And here's the high pressure fuel pump. Next up, we're gonna be taking this line off. Using a pair of needle nose pliers, move the clamp. Using a small pry bar, go ahead and take it out. Move the line out of the way. And now we're ready to remove the 10mm bolts that go around the whole valve cover. Using a 10mm socket, we're gonna go ahead and remove all the bolts around the valve cover. We're gonna go ahead and start at the back of it. So we're gonna be removing all of these 10mm bolts that go around it. So go ahead and do that. And now we're gonna keep going in the front and the side of it. So go ahead and take this out. And lastly, we have this one 10mm next to the fuel line. So go ahead and take that one out. And lastly, we're gonna have a series of 10mm bolts in the center and right over here. There's two of them. So go ahead and remove those. If you have issues reaching this one, go ahead and use a little magnet to pull it out. Now that we have all the bolts out, and before we do this, you want to make sure that you go around and you didn't miss any of them. Grab yourself a flathead screwdriver. We're gonna go ahead and go on the corner, and we're just gonna pry slowly. So once you pop this side off, go ahead and move on to this corner. Like I said, before you do this, you want to 100% make sure that you do not miss any of the bolts, because you could cause some damage to the valve cover. So go ahead and do that on this corner. And now that you have it on that position, you can simply grab onto the front and wiggle the back at the same time. And now you should be able to just slide it up and take it out of the way. Now you can go ahead and remove the old gasket. Simply grab onto it and slide it out. Being very careful not to get any debris inside the engine when you do this. Also, you want to remove this one. Moving over to the bench, we're gonna put both valve covers side to side because there's a few things that we had to swap out. And that includes this soft harness and the bracket. Also includes these stands. There's gonna be 4 of them, 2 in the back, 2 in the front. That's for the engine cover. So using a 16mm wrench, we're gonna go ahead and break these loose. And one thing I like to do, I like to transfer these one by one just so I know where exactly they go. So we're gonna start with this one, crack it loose. Go ahead and take it out. And we're just gonna go ahead and transfer it to the new one. You're gonna repeat that process for the rest of them. After you transfer the stand, simply go ahead and get them snug. Do not over tighten this. This will break because it's plastic. So just go ahead and just get it snug. Next up, we had to transfer the bracket and the little sub harness. So using a 10mm socket, take that out. And we're gonna go ahead and transfer it to the new one. Simply get it snug. And another thing I would like to point out, the new valve cover should come with the new gasket on it, but just take a quick look. Sometimes in shipping, some of these could pop out. So just make sure that it is nice and flat all around. And make sure that you look at this one right here too. We're gonna now get the vehicle ready to accept the new valve cover gasket. Before we go ahead and install the new valve cover, we wanna make sure that we clean the surface where the gasket is gonna make contact with the head. So go ahead and use some brake parts cleaner in a rag, spray some on the rag, and wipe off any areas where the gasket contacts the head. Make sure that it is nice and clean from debris. Make sure we clean the spark plug holes. And now we're gonna do around the entire surface. Like I said before, make sure that you do not get any dirt or grime inside your engine. That will cause damage. And now we're gonna do the same around this area where the high pressure pump goes. Go ahead and clean the hole. Now that the surface is ready to accept the new gasket and the new valve cover, making sure that the valve cover has the gasket right in place, we're gonna go ahead and grab some RTV. And there's gonna be 2 areas where we're gonna put some RTV. And it's gonna be right in this corner and right on this one. You're gonna see the valve cover gasket itself is gonna have some markings. We do not need too much, we just need a little bit. We're gonna do the same on this side. We're gonna go ahead and let that get tacky. We'll give it another 5 minutes and then we're able to slap it on. After waiting around 5 minutes for the RTV to get tacky, we're gonna go ahead and line up the new valve cover, being very careful, making sure that the gasket does not come out. Go ahead and line it up with the holes. Make sure that it is nice and straight. And now we're gonna start just putting the bolts by hand. We're gonna start by putting the bolts that go in the center. So go ahead and put those by hand. Do not tighten any of this yet. Make sure that you spin them off by hand and you can grab some of the threads. Go ahead and do the same around the entire valve cover. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and start in the center. We're gonna get everything snug. Do not tighten it all the way, just getting everything snug so then we can get to torquing. Go ahead and do the same around the whole valve cover. Like I said, do not tighten all the way. Next up, we're gonna be torquing the valve cover to 8 foot-pounds. We're gonna be going in the order shown on screen, starting in the middle. This is gonna be number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4, right over here. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and lastly we got this 2, which counts as 19. As tedious as this might seem, it is very important that you do it to avoid any damages to the new valve cover and or avoiding leaks. Now that we have the valve cover all torqued down, we can go ahead and install the hoses that go on the sides. So go ahead and slide this one in. Go ahead and slide that clamp back on. What I like to do is I like to match it with the marks that are already on the hose. Do the same on this one. Go ahead and slide it in. Make sure that you bottom it out and reinstall that clamp. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and slide the coil packs back in. Go ahead and line it up with the holes. Now put the bolts by hand. Snug them up. Now that we have the coils snug up, go ahead and torque them to 9 foot-pounds. Now that we have all the coils in place and torqued down, grab the harness, put it over the valve cover, and go ahead and install the bolts by hand. There's gonna be 2 of them. Go ahead and start them off. And now get them snug. Do not over tighten. All they do is hold the harness in place. Now that you have the harness in place attached to the valve cover, go ahead and plug in the coils. They will only go one way, so you cannot mess this up. Just follow the harness, it'll tell you where they go. So go ahead and push it in, and make sure when you clip it in place, you lock the locking tab. Go ahead and do that on all 4 of them. Go ahead and plug in the sub harness for the high pressure pump. Now we can get the cam sensor harness over the valve cover. We're gonna reattach it to these 2 spots. Go ahead and do that. And now we can go ahead and plug the solenoid in. When you plug it in, make sure you just give it a light tug to make sure that it is in place. Now we can go ahead and install the pump. Line it up with the holes. And start the bolts by hand. Go ahead and get them bottomed out. What I like to do, I like to take the socket off the ratchet and just get them close. For this, we're gonna follow the same method that we did when we took it off. And we're gonna be tightening it in sequence to bring it down evenly. You do not wanna snug in one side first, because it will go in sideways and it will cause damage to either the cam or the high pressure fuel pump itself. So just keep that in mind. So go ahead and get it snug, like I said before, evenly. Once it's completely bottomed out on each side, go ahead and torque it. We're gonna go ahead and torque them to 11 foot-pounds. Make sure you plug it in. Push it all the way in and just give it a light tug to make sure that it is nice and secure. Next up, we're gonna go ahead and install this line. Go ahead and align it with the hole and start the knot by hand. You wanna make sure that this goes in nice and smooth. The threads are very fragile, so just keep that in mind. Go ahead and bottom out that knot using a 19mm wrench. And now we can go ahead and torque this down to 24 foot-pounds. It is very important that you torque it, since this is your fuel. You do not want that loose or over tighten. It will cause issues. So go ahead and torque it. Now we can go ahead and install this line. Simply slide it in. You're gonna listen for a click and just give it a light tug to make sure that it is nice and secure. After you know it's nice and secure, go ahead and push this down to lock it in. Now we're ready to install the engine cover. Go ahead and line it up and push it down. Now we can go ahead and install the fuse. So go ahead and slide it in, push it in. If you use a tool that's provided for the vehicle to remove it, go ahead and put that back on. Right over here and push it in. Go ahead and close the cap. After you get the vehicle running, you want to check for leaks. Make sure that there's no fuel leaks and/or oil leaks. If you do have anything that's leaking, you want to address it, and that'll be job done.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.